The views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of BronxNet or the program underwriters.
Hola, everyone. Welcome to Open, the one and only show bringing the best of the Bronx, New York, and the world straight to you. I'm Rhina Valentin, your host of Café con Leche every Friday. Here's what's coming up in today's show. Leading things off, we'll find out who's participating in this year's Johnny Pacheco Latin Music and Jazz Festival when we sit with Festival Director Alan Molnar and Pacheco Festival artists. After that, we'll learn the cultural significance of Día de Muertos, a holiday celebrating life and death, while creating an artistic altar with visual artist Alo Gorozpe. We'll even make a cool art installation, and then we're gonna do some jam tasting. That's right, when we have the opportunity to speak to K's European Jams founder, Katharina Wilson, about the heritage behind unique natural jams. And then later on in the show, Bobby C brings us an up-to-date with the latest headlines in the world of sports. And lastly, we'll find out about this year's Dance Your Future Artist and Collaborative Residency project presented by PEPATIÁN BAAD, offering different workshops and performances for this year's event. And we'll close today with a special performance from one of this year's Dance Your Future participants, Candace Tabbs. So sit back y prepárate. All this and more is headed your way, because now we are officially open. Welcome back to Open, everyone. I'm Rhina Valentin, your host of Café con Leche for the next hour, always inviting you to get social with us. That's right, online. Tweet us and follow us on Instagram at BronxNet TV or like us on Facebook at Open BronxNet Television. And of course, don't forget, while you're there, follow moi on Twitter, FB, Instagram, Instastories, LinkedIn, and Snapchat at Rhina Valentin. So the Johnny Pacheco Latin Music and Jazz Festival at Lehman College is one of the most anticipated events in November that incorporates the many sounds of Latin and jazz music. And every year, the festival provides performances and learning opportunities for talented young musicians who are studying music in New York City schools. And joining us to tell us more, we welcome Festival Director and Producer Alan Molnar and special guest artist Eganom Segbafia. Hello.
Hello.
And welcome.
Thank you.
Good morning. Good morning, Alan, and congratulations on another year of this amazing event that you put together for this. It's just within the college itself, but I mean, most people don't know you're also a professor, right? I mean, I know you like to just stay in the music, jazzy side, but it's important that they understand that you're all about edutainment.
Well, education is at the center of the Johnny Pacheco Latin Music and Jazz Festival. And it is so exciting that this is our 11th year. And we have a number of great bands coming in. We have almost 300 students who will be coming in through the entire run of the festival to work with our guest artists, our guest clinicians who will be critiquing all the bands. And also they'll be performing the music they've been working so hard to develop all fall. And we have all kinds of wonderful surprises and a very interesting presence of the trumpet this year in a couple of capacities. So I'm thrilled, as I always am. And I'll say one thing, I know I say this every year, it's going to be our best yet.
Just before we move further, just share with everyone why this festival is titled the Johnny Pacheco Latin Music and Jazz Festival.
Well, Johnny Pacheco is one of the great artists of Latin music and has had such a great influence on the development of this music, you know, through his work as part of the Fania All-Stars and as a band leader. And so it just seemed fitting that we would name the festival, you know, after him. And, you know, with his permission and the permission of his family, it's been a real thrill and an honor for us to be able to name the festival for him.
It is an honor to have a festival named after yourself and in the light in which you produce it. So bravo. And this year you brought a guest with you, which is the first, right? Alan, you usually come on and share all the delicious details by yourself, but today you're just, I guess, shedding a light on one of your guest artists, and welcome, Eganom.
Thank you, thank you. It's an honor and I'm grateful to be here. I'm very excited. Feels like a homecoming because just a decade ago, I was at I was at Celia Cruz as a student and took music classes here. So to be returning now as my first special guest artist at Lehman College is, you know, it's very dear and close to my heart. So
right, because that's right here, right?
Yeah.
So congratulations to you. Now, Eganom Segbefia, where's that name from?
it's from Ghana. I was born in Nigeria. My family's from Ghana. And we migrated here when I was 10 years old. My mom won visa lottery. And we came in February 99. And September 99, I picked up the trumpet. It was a way to hide my accent. And it became my safe haven, you know, throughout. And 20 years later, I'm here speaking with you.
It's very fascinating. Congratulations on that you
Thank you.
used the term. It was a way to hide my accent. So in essence, what you're saying is it's your language.
Yes,
It's
yes.
Lovely.
It's grown to become my language. And now, you know, to be able to speak and understand the language and speak to people through it and you know, to see their eyes brighten up, to, you know, get their emotions to come out and convey that towards me, you know, it's amazing. You know, I'm very grateful for that.
Well, that's lovely, and thank you for sharing that, and thank you for sharing your background, and because the importance of really all of us just coming together and being together as one human race,
Yes.
sharing our respective talents in just making what you're doing, an orchestra, right? An orchestra of a festival. So, Alan, this festival takes place 3 days out of the week, and our channels, by the way, live stream it. So BronxNet will be live streaming it online, which we love because it's really jazzy. So if you can't make it in person, you can actually just put it on online, and it's live music, and it doesn't get any better than that. And so let's just talk a little bit about the lineup for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday.
Well, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday during the daytime sessions, we have allocated to all the student ensembles, middle school, high school, jazz ensembles, Latin music ensembles. So that's their opportunity to perform. And we have another dimension that's a little bit behind the scenes this year. You know, once the bands perform on camera, then we have a second location set up where the clinician takes the band for another 40 minutes of workshopping off camera, while the next band is working with the second clinician on camera. So we upped the ante on the education element of the festival, actually with the very generous support of the Louis Armstrong Education Foundation, who were very generous in sponsoring our festival this year. And so I'm really, really excited about that. The students get to perform, you know, mid-November, kind of, you know, halfway through the semester, early in the year, but they come here, they get that performance opportunity, and then they get some serious workshop opportunities with the guest clinicians to, you know, move them in a similar direction that their teachers already are working on. And
Okay, so I just
yes,
want to,
of
the
course.
language of guest clinician, right? Because that's a music term. Can we elaborate further and explain to our audience what a clinician is within the music field?
Of course. Clinician is the artists, and they're music teachers and music performers. Dr. Kurt Gartner from Kansas State University and Dr. Jeff Kunkel from Montclair State University. They're going to be coming in, and essentially their role is to listen to the bands and then give a critique, a short critique on camera for about 10 minutes, and then, as I mentioned, they go to a second location and work for another 40 minutes or so.
That's lovely. And Aganom, you're like a star as far as I'm concerned because you're here and we're just guest spotlighting you. So what are you looking forward to in this year's festival?
I'm looking forward to everything, taking it, moment by moment and really being intentional with, the interactions I have, one with the students, because a split-second interaction you can have with a student can make the world of a difference as far as if, they're going to continue to push themselves to go further because, that was given to me, that attention was given to me, and I want to make sure I'm intentional in every moment. So I'm looking forward to being able to help students, get through whatever it is that they're going through, but also sharing with them that, when you're on stage, I'm a human being just like them because as musicians get better, they're expected, to make things perfect. And not all the time are they perfect, but if you teach it to, high school students and they see it in action that you just come out there and you put your best foot and then you're proud of whatever comes after that, then, that helps them to continue that confidence that they need to live with.
Right.
So that's what I'm really looking forward to.
That's lovely, and it's well put because it's about establishing your own individuality, even though you're a contribution to a bigger picture.
Yes.
And thank you both for coming here and sharing that. And you guys, once again, the Johnny Pacheco Latin Music and Jazz Festival is taking place November 13th through the 15th, and that's happening at the Lovinger Theater at Lehman College, which is located at 250 Bedford Park Boulevard, West in the Bronx. And for more information, you can visit lehman.edu/jazzfest. And if you can't make it in person, remember, be sure to watch it live online at bronxnet.org. All right, we're taking a quick break, but when we return, we'll learn about a holiday celebrating the dead. Don't go anywhere.
Behold, the angry giant. Behold, the angry giant. Behold, the angry giant. Behold, the angry giant. It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
How can I help my daughter with her reading?
Searching for help with Dachshund Reading.
No.
Let me try. Sarah's bright, but when she's reading, she has trouble sounding out words.
Playing world music.
What?
I give up.
Wait, I was trying to show you how Sarah feels every day. Frustrating, isn't it? Redirecting to understood.org.
Join parents and experts at understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues to help your child thrive.
Well, Thomas, you've got pre-diabetes. But with more exercise and a change in diet, it can be reversed.
I've tried exercising. It just makes me hungry for bacon.
I love bacon, too. And who really likes to exercise?
Not me.
Me neither.
Nobody.
So we're good?
What? Oh, you still have pre-diabetes. Big time.
And I can't change, even if I tried, even if I wanted to. My love, my love, my love, she keeps me warm. 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 She keeps me warm.
We are neighbors and best friends.
I love my sister.
My heart doesn't see race. Love is love.
Our family is no less than any other family.
Hey, welcome back to Open, everyone. So today is Día de Muertos, and that is Day of the Dead. It's a Mexican holiday that reunites families and their loved ones who have passed away. And the celebration includes offerings along with food and drinks for people to enjoy, and it holds a cultural significance within the Mexican community. And it's a day where mourning is exchanged for happiness. And joining us today is a visual artist who creates installations for Día de Muertos, and now he's here to share more about the holiday. Please welcome Alo Gorozpe. Hello, Alo.
Hi, Rhina, how are you?
I'm great. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Desde Mexico.
Yes.
Hailing all the way from Mexico, he's here, and he created an altar here on our set. But I gave everybody a little insight about the holiday, if you could share more.
Well, it's a very rich and complex celebration, but basically it's a day in which we take time to gather around the people that have died and celebrate their spirits and try to invoke them with certain elements that they enjoyed in their life. No, so we put their food, their everything they like, hoping that they come, because from November 1st to the 2nd, there's a gap that opens between the life of the dead and the people that are alive.
So, with this belief, are you saying that? First of all, let's talk about its background and who came up with this concept and how it's become a part of your custom, and what is it that really, I guess, validates that gate has been opened, right? Because it's a sense of opening a gate for those who have transitioned into being at the table from a spiritual realm.
Yeah, well, it's as history and life in general, it's a mix of cultures that have been adding to the tradition. But if you trace it back, it goes to indigenous cultures in Mexico, such as Oaxaca, and all the indigenous cultures in Mexico celebrate it in a way. And wherever you're in Mexico, it's a little bit different, but the same belief is there that it's a way to connect with the spirits of the dead.
So in this particular design, let's go over some of the elements you've presented here today. I mean, aside from it being visually stimulating, there's significance in certain food items and drink items based on who is the person you brought with you today?
Yeah, so basically you choose who you want to do the altar to. In this case, we're celebrating a Mexican artist and activist called Francisco Toledo, who's a really important artist that passed away this year. Mm-hmm. So you put a photo of the person. You put like...
Can I see this photo?
Yeah, definitely.
I'm always like, when you create altars, it's always like, oh, you don't want to touch it, you want to honor it. So that is the artist.
Yeah,
what is his name again?
Francisco Toledo.
Francisco
Toledo.
Toledo?
He was a multimedia artist, but he was mostly a painter. So we have this element, which is a brush.
Right.
And food, like we have pan de muerto, which is something that it's baked for the Day of the Dead, fruit, coffee, a skull, really colorful skull.
Right.
Cempasúchil flower. That's our orange is a really important color. It's represents light.
Okay, so the marigold flowers,
Yeah.
for some reason, are symbolism of the Day of the Dead.
Yes.
Why is the marigold flower the one?
Because it resonates light, no, and it's the one that arises and flowers during this season. We have a tamal over there. So there's elements that call about the earth, the food. We have water. We have the wind is present through the papel picado.
The wind is present through this.
Because normally you see this like an indoor altar, but people go to the cemeteries and build altars in the people's tombs, but also people do them in their houses. So it's an indoor-outdoor celebration. So basically, you build it together with your family and friends, and then in the night between the first and the second, you have a party with people that have passed away.
That's beautiful. And so, what are some of the food items that are a part of the custom? Because I know you mentioned that certain items were chosen because he's a painter. So, let's say, as a Puerto Rican, can we put an empanada instead of
you
a
can
tamale?
Put whatever you want. I think the most important elements are the flowers and the candle over here.
Right.
And kind of the skull, but the rest is just basically like putting whatever your passed away person, your
The
family
person who
member,
transitioned, right?
you want him to enjoy, want her to enjoy that. So it's basically trying to replicate something that they would like, so they come and visit you.
Okay, so this takes place on November 1st, right?
Yes.
So it's a day of celebration, right?
Yeah.
So that's obviously today. Today is November 1st, and I know that you have events that are taking place today and tomorrow, November 2nd, right? So let's talk about the 2-day aspect of it.
Yes. So basically during today, people spend their times building their spaces, their sacred spaces. People come together. People bring flowers. Everybody brings different elements, and today you spend the whole day putting it together, and then at night you just light the altar and it comes to life, and you have like a midnight of having time with people that passed away.
So it's like a midnight from November 1st to November 2nd
Yes.
of activating it, we'll
Exactly.
say, right?
Yeah.
And then I know for this particular function that you're, I don't know if you're spearheading it, but I do know that you're initiating the installations, but there's also a procession that's going to be taking place.
Yes.
What's that about? Like, is everybody coming and walking with a candle, like with their pictures? How's that going to take place?
So there's a big important artistic and community in East Harlem. Mainly right now for this project, it's a Mexican community that we're putting a procession together. That would be like walking from 104th Street, the Church of the Living Hope, towards Art Space. So it's the second year that we do it because it's a tradition that has been growing a lot here in New York.
Right.
So
especially since the movie Coco,
Yeah.
which has been a blessing, right?
Yeah.
Because it's just admirable. It's admirable the way you honor like your culture, your
Yeah.
particular culture, because that's you're the ones who have sustained the practice and the ritual of honoring those who have
Yeah.
transitioned on.
Yeah, and we want to share it with the world. And so there's going to be a procession tomorrow at 5 p.m., which we're going to take flowers, candles from an altar in 104th Street to a big altar in Art Space.
So you're going to actually walk the altar
Yeah.
from one space to the other, and everybody's going to be walking with that altar with the candles.
Yes.
That's lovely. Oh, that's
Yeah.
going to be exciting. Do people have to dress a certain way?
No, however they want. We suggest like a kind of a whatever grief color because the celebration. It's about grief and happiness. That day and light.
Right. Balance.
Day and night and balance about how we need to celebrate our life because death is waiting for us, and then people that have died that they're always present with us. So it's like a really balanced celebration. So I would recommend wearing black just to contrast the colorful of the altars.
Got it.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. And thank you for sharing it here with our viewers.
Thank you.
And you guys, you're more than welcome to participate in the event. It's called Remembering Our Loved Ones, and that's in East Harlem. That's taking place. It's a 2-day celebration, and that's happening November 1st and November 2nd between 10 and 9 p.m. But the procession itself is taking place on Saturday, November 2nd, and that's beginning at 5 p.m. It's starting at Church of Living Hope, which is located on 61 East 104th Street, and then it's going to end at El Barrio's Art Space, which is located at 215 East 99th Street. And for more, you can visit Alo's website by going to alonsogorozpe.com. All right, so this weekend, BronxNet will be showcasing Bronx filmmaker TS, newest films, Orchard Beach, and Set in Falls Park, The Legend of Mr. Wiggly on BronxNet channel Optimum 68/Files 34 on November 1st at 2 a.m. and November 2nd at 2:30 a.m. So be sure to check it out. All right, so we're going to take a quick break, but when we return, we'll hear about Harlem-based line of Jam that is full of culture history. Don't go anywhere. welcome back to Open, everyone. You know, always inviting you to get social with us. That's right. Tweet us at BronxNet TV, and while you're there, tweet me too at Rhina Valentin. So it's always a great time to have some jam, right? Or jelly, that is, whether it's for your breakfast or a healthy snack. And our next guest, well, she's decided to create a natural line of jams and jellies filled with unique flavors and natural blends. And here now to tell us more about her company, please welcome founder Katharina Wilson. Hello and welcome.
So excited to be here.
Well, can't imagine where the name K's came from. Nice, quick, simple, and easy to remember. And I got to tell you, you obviously left something with me because I just recently met you and I was like, oh my gosh, we have to share this with our viewers. First of all, let's talk a little bit about why you chose to get into the business of jam.
Yeah, so I have 25 years of advertising marketing career behind me. Then 2 years ago, I changed my life entirely. And what we see today is that consumers have changed a little bit. They like small, local, authentic, and traditional, time-proven foods are very important to them. You know, something that's been around for a long time is really a proof of quality. I have always been canning since I was very little. I grew up in Germany and later in France, and we had a very old country garden in a very, very old house. And my mom and my grandmother, they taught me their love of preserving, as have many generations before them of women.
Okay, so you know, the last time I was with you, I didn't get to try every single flavor.
Yeah.
So can we try some of them while we talk about this?
Absolutely.
Because I want them to understand that, I mean, you're really passionate about this.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I tasted a spicy jam, which I've never, ever had in my entire life. So can we talk about them?
Absolutely. So I have jams that are more on the sweet side. Today I brought 3 flavors here that are very representative of my line. One is a blueberry, simple, straightforward, but it's made with local fruits. So I put a lot of work and effort into sourcing my fruit because fruit, you know, that's what I love, and that's where the flavor comes from. So you want to try with this?
Well, I'll try it.
Okay, so blueberry.
Blueberry.
The blueberries remain whole so that you have like a burst of flavor in your mouth.
And I can tell that there isn't much sugar in this. That's the other reason
Yeah, so we
very
have
appreciative of your consciousness. You know, you're also coming in with the health consciousness component to the way you're making your jam.
Absolutely, about 15% less sugar than what you usually find in the low sugar brands.
So what are we going to try next?
This is my most European. You know, these are European style jams. This is a pure vanilla. Poire vanille in French.
Oh, poire vanille.
So that has these little dots here. That's a real vanilla.
May I try that?
Absolutely.
Okay. Vanilla. So what would you put this on?
Oh, this goes great on any kinds of breads, toasts, waffles, pancakes, and desserts, yogurts.
Oh, wow.
But you also
This
pair
is
it
amazing.
with blue cheese. In France, the pear and blue cheese is a very sort of important combination. So a little cracker, blue cheese, a little bit of that jam, delicious.
And so I'm putting the spoons I'm using in this pot, which I hope I'm not offending you because I know that this is a huge component to the way you make your jam. So while I try the next one, can we tell everybody about your...
Absolutely. So just to tell you about this one real quick, this is an Italian plum. This is an oblong plum with like a juicy golden interior, and it's very smooth and round and happy. The copper pans are a very important magic ingredients, really, using copper, and that's something that has been around for a very long time, inverts the sugar and helps with the gelling process. So that's just like another little thing that naturally helps me with my process. Otherwise, there's nothing in there other than fruit, lemon juice, sugar, less sugar, but you need a little bit of sugar for traditional techniques, and sometimes pectin, which is a natural product as well that helps with the gel. That's it. Some of my flavors have even just only 2 ingredients.
Wow, that's lovely. And so as we continue taste testing, because I'm having a really good time doing this, you know, Thanksgiving is a holiday that most people include cranberries, and this is a great way to kind of like modernize
Absolutely, yeah.
that dish.
For example, that plum, imagine that you're after next day turkey sandwich, put a little bit of the Italian plum on the turkey, so the salty and the sweet is gonna be amazing.
It is amazing, just on the spoon. So what's this I'm
So
tasting?
here is,
No,
this
it's
is
okay.
fig, and I brought it to you in 2 versions. That is just a basic fig, and actually Eric Ripert from the Bernardin just bought that one at a market. I was blown away.
Who bought it?
Eric Ripert, which is the chef of Le Bernardin. It's a very
I must go
it's
to
a
France
very
so I
great
can speak with that
No,
accent.
And the same
Congratulations
one,
on that, by the way.
the same one is infused with habanero peppers. So here you have a spicy kick. And these figs accompany cheese splatters, or you can bake with it. You can even put it in a vinaigrette.
That one's a little spicy?
Sauce. Yes, that one has a little habanero in there.
Very nice. So before we go, I introduced the pot.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about that really quickly before we go.
Yeah, as I said, so cooking in small batches allows the natural process. Using a copper pan, like they have for many hundreds of years, helps invert the sugar, and that helps with the set, so that I don't need to overcook. Like one important component is that I don't cook for a very long time, so that the fruit retains their vibrancy and their color, and the copper pots help me with that.
Beautiful. And then this is an absolute last thing, right? Which
Yes,
is, you are the winner of the
International Flavor Award.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
And which flavor won that?
This is my pepper jelly.
Pepper jelly. Is that the one I
Yes,
tried?
I think so, yeah. And this one is made
That's the pepper
actually.
jelly?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Little shout out to the Early Girl Farm, where the amazing Patty, it's in Long Island, grows these peppers.
Wow, I definitely need water. That's an interesting flavor.
Yeah.
But congratulations
Thank
on
you
that.
so
And
much.
Thank you for bringing it here on our set.
Thank you.
All right, and you guys, once again, to purchase some of Kay's European jams, you can visit ksjamsny.com. All right, stay tuned, because Bobby C's Weekly Sports Roundup is coming up next.
We begin our look at sports in the octagon. Fighting is in our DNA here at BronxNet. What are you looking at? Gotcha. The UFC 244 main event on Saturday night at the world's most famous arena will showcase 2 of the most rugged fighters on the roster. These 2 guys are also 2 of the most popular. Jorge Masvidal and Nate Diaz will step to each other for a welterweight fight with the newly minted mythical BMF title. Look it up. You'll thank me later, Rhina. You have to love Google, I'll tell you. On the line in the night's main event, the 34-year-old Diaz returned to action in August after a nearly 3-year hiatus a few months ago, defeating Anthony Pettis in an unanimous decision at UFC 241. In his most recent fight, Masvidal, also 34, recorded a knockout in 5 seconds, a UFC record for fastest KO. Plenty of lead-up media events this week. Our BronxNet cameras previewed it all. Here's more.
If he survives what I got to give him, hats off to him, you know, but there's a dog here, and when this dog gets tired, it's only going to keep biting me. I'm not going to take a step back from nobody. There's not a fight you can put up where me getting hit or me getting tired, I'm backing away or shying away from a fight. I'm a dog. Once that cage is locked, I only know one thing, one speed.
I figure if anyone with paying close enough attention, the best fight that you can imagine would probably be me and him.
East meets West, Miami versus California. The early prelims get started at 6:15 p.m. tomorrow night. The main card starts at 10 p.m. on pay-per-view, but if you can't make it to the Garden, you can buy it. We'll have a full recap on Monday morning's show. The national sports story of the week comes courtesy of our nation's capital. And no, it's not the president making headlines for throwing out a first pitch or even something else, but rather D.C.'s baseball team winning it all. The Washington Nationals, yes, the Nationals, for the first time in history, are World Series champions. The Nats topped the Houston Astros Wednesday night 6-2 in an epic Game 7. Washington became the first team in World Series history to win all 4 road games en route to winning it all. Steven Strasburg is your World Series MVP. More on the Nats' most improbable season in the C-list. Stay tuned. While the Nats hold the top spot for the best national sports story of the week, pun intended, the New York Knicks grabbed the local sports story of the week by securing their first win of the season. Bobby Portis scored a season-high 28 points against his former team, including a go-ahead three-pointer with 1:47 remaining, and the Knicks beat the Chicago Bulls 105-98 on Monday night. Roll the videotape.
It was fun, man. I put a lot of work in each and every summer, each and every day, to be the best basketball player, best teammate I can, and to hear the crowd, say my name, that was a crazy moment for me.
Kind of learning to feel each other out more, know each other's strengths and weaknesses. And, Julius was huge for us today, just making the right plays. And then Bobby also making the right shots. And everybody that came in, Frank, Wayne, they gave us great minutes. So it was a total team effort.
Great win. Sadly, the Knicks couldn't keep it rolling. They fell 95-83 in Orlando Wednesday night. The Orange and Blue are back at it again in Boston tonight, taking on Bronx native Kemba Walker and the Celtics. The Nets, meanwhile, have lost 2 straight since topping the Knicks. Their latest, a 118-108 defeat Wednesday night to Indiana at home. Time for some quick hitters from around the world of sports. On the NFL gridiron, the Jets are in Miami this Sunday for a 1 p.m. kickoff. The Giants are home Monday night to host longtime rival Dallas on Monday Night Football. That game kicks at 8:15 p.m. A career best 4 touchdown passes from Jimmy Garoppolo nearly went to waste for the San Francisco 49ers on Thursday Night Football. However, key third downs down the stretch helped the 8-0 Niners close out a 28-25 victory over the Arizona Cardinals. The 49ers and the New England Patriots are the last of the unbeaten teams in the NFL. The Pats are undefeated but have done so against subpar teams thus far. With a tougher stretch of teams ahead, the Pats will face their first true test of the 2019 season this Sunday night in Baltimore. On the ice, the Devils are home tonight to face Philadelphia. The Islanders welcome Tampa Bay, and the Rangers skate Saturday night in Nashville. On the baseball diamond, the Yankees have declined DH Edwin Encarnacion's $20 million option. In other NBA news, Golden State Warriors star Steph Curry suffered a broken left hand Wednesday night, and yet another loss for the Dubs. Don't expect him back anytime soon, and don't expect the Warriors back in the NBA Finals anytime soon. Best Halloween costume from the pro ranks yesterday, Rhina. I'm taking LA Clipper star Paul George. Paul was the Night King from the Game of Thrones. Good stuff. And in motorsport, good stuff is an understatement when it comes to Lewis Hamilton. Hamilton is going for the Formula One crown this weekend in Austin, Texas in the U.S. Grand Prix. Expect Hamilton to do it again this Sunday. Number 6 is on the line. He would become only the second 6-time F1 world champ. Those are the headlines. We hit the C-list for another champion and an ode to sports miracles. I've said it before in this space. I'm pretty sure most of you know my love for the Yankees. I've done a good job in my professional career of putting that passion to the side for the sake of the job. But this year, with my mother's passing in August, I couldn't help but root extra hard for the Pinstripes. Simply put, Yankee baseball was life in my household. My mom gave us the Yankee Bible, the gospel according to Ruth, Gehrig, DiMaggio, and Mantle. Nonetheless, as hard as it was to watch the Yanks fall to Houston in the American League Championship Series, it was harder realizing that this was the first fall classic she wasn't around to shoot the breeze about. I told myself I wouldn't watch. After all, the Yankees weren't in it. What kind of World Series doesn't have the Bronx Bombers in it? But then I said to myself, Mom loved baseball so much, I'll take a peek. I'll root for the Nationals. Mom always loved underdogs, even if the Yanks rarely are one. I believe she would have rooted for the Nationals, although she was an American League fan. But there was just something about the Nats this year. They are a miracle. They are fate. And that's why she loved baseball so much. That's why I love baseball so much, because as we mentioned with the Yanks in the postseason, stranger things have happened in the game. It didn't happen for the Bombers this year, but it certainly did for the Nationals, and there's so much poetry in that. I think it's fair to say that this World Series run is the most impressive of all time. The Nationals' 3 opponents after they beat the Milwaukee Brewers in the wild card game, the LA Dodgers, St. Louis Cardinals, and the Astros, 3 teams that combined for 304 wins, the most a World Series winner faced since the expanded playoffs began in 1995. How could that happen? How could a team win all 4 road games, including a Game 7? Anthony Rendon got it started with a solo shot. 21-year-old, yes, 21, Juan Soto walked, and 36-year-old Howie Kendrick hit the 7th-inning home run heard round the world. Didn't matter that Zach Greinke was dealing for the Astros. My friends, it was meant to be, as Bryce Harper himself accidentally predicted in his offseason press conference after signing with rival Philadelphia. Imagine that, highest paid player in the game walking away from the eventual World Series champs who won it without him. Sounds like something out of a movie script, not something you would believe. Kendrick hit .344 on the season. He hit the series-winning grand slam against the Dodgers and won MVP honors in the NLCS. And now he's a World Series hero for life. The Nationals became just the 5th team in World Series history to overcome a multi-run deficit in the 7th inning or later of Game 7, joining the 1997 Marlins, 1960 Pirates, sorry, Mom, that came against the Yanks, the 1925 Pirates, and 1924 Senators, yes, the Senators, the first Washington baseball team to win it all. Man, you gotta love baseball. A wild card team beat a team that won 107 games. I know you were watching in heaven. I'm glad I was watching here too. That was some heavenly World Series. That's your sports. I'm Bobby C. Stay with us.
Leaving hot coals improperly extinguished can cause a wildfire.
Hey guys, it's Smokey!
It looks as if Smokey is going to use the drown, stir, drown and feel technique. After the first drown, a good start. Next, another drink. And finally, a close feel.
Is it cool? Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Smokey, catch! Oh, my bad, Smokey.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
You think getting dumped by text is harsh? Try getting dumped by a tennis ball. My ex-owner drove me out to the woods, yelled fetch, and by the time I bought the ball back, he was gone. Yeah, I was pissed. But the folks at the shelter helped me let go of my anger. I learned coping skills, like taking it to the hole. Boom! Now I'm ready to fetch again. But how about I throw and you run and get it?
Hey, welcome back to Open, everyone. So PEPATIÁN, in partnership with BAAD, present its 6th annual Dance Your Future Artist and Collaborative Residency project that features workshops, performances, along with emerging and established artists. It's a time to celebrate the art of dance. And joining us to tell us more about her experience, we welcome one of this Dance Your Future performers and recipients, Candace Tabbs. Hello and welcome, and congratulations.
Thank you so much. I'm so glad to be here.
So let's talk first about the process and how, I guess, the submission is made, right? Because you're one of the recipients, and I know that it's like a mentorship with mentee as well as a presentation. So let's talk about how your submission went and what that process was like.
Yes, so it was a submission process where I submitted an application. I presented some works that I've done previously, some previous experience that I had in dance performance and as well as art making. And then I also had the opportunity to share who I would wanted to be a mentor, mentee of. And I chose this year Joya Powell, who has been a mentor for me for many years, and it was really wonderful to have Joya celebrate with me and journey with me in this process.
So the dance world is its own world, right? And what I mean by that is like you're mentioning names that obviously if that is your field, you're familiar with who this person is. And so just out of curiosity, when you won this mentorship, was this particular mentor assigned previous to you winning, or is it something that you win and then you go, this is who I want to mentor me, and then they pursue the person that you're seeking as a mentor? Because I know everybody gets taken care of in the process, meaning it's a paid mentorship on both sides, which is lovely.
Yes,
it's lovely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a lovely program.
Indeed it is. But yes, I submitted my recommendation who I wanted to be mentored by, and PEPATIÁN supported me in my choice, and we were able to coordinate so that not only do I get support with funding, but also my mentor gets support with funding as well.
And so this particular mentor you chose, why that person? Is it because of a style? Is it a technique? What is it that I guess you're attracted to, or that you felt you could use some in your choreography?
I picked my mentor for a couple of reasons, 3 of which were because Joya knows me personally, so there was a level of comfort and ease with talking about different things and the challenges that I would face throughout the process. 2, I loved and appreciate that Joya has been working in different realms of dance, from theater to non-proscenium spaces to proscenium spaces and stages, to kind of have that eye in different ways that the piece could evolve and create a new ambiance at BAAD was important to me. And then 3rd, I wanted to have a voice that understood the voice of African diasporic dance, because that's an integral part of my piece and my work and my practice, in addition to modern and contemporary as well. So having those components was really important.
And so do they serve also as a co-choreographer, or just a guide in your choreography?
For sure, more of a guide, yes. So I've been creating the movement as well as the text, and we have some visual elements that are really exciting. I'm collaborating with a visual artist. His name is Sayazake for visual art in the piece. But yes, Joya, my mentor, is mostly a guide and feedback and tough love for the process.
That's hilarious. She's like, tough love, in case you don't know.
For sure.
Okay, so how long of a process has it been? Because I know the performance is coming up in November.
Yes, so the performances are coming up next weekend, November 8th and 9th. And we've been starting the process, I would say, in May we received notice that we were accepted into the program. There are 2 other artists who have been accepted into the Dance for Your Future program, as well as myself. And then for the summer and into the fall, we've been granted space at BAAD and being able to rehearse and create.
So you've been rehearsing through the summer, and there's only 3 that are chosen, and you each have your own individual night? Is that how it works?
Yes.
That's amazing.
It is. It's pretty great that we have our own evening length works. Often as emerging artists, we have split bills or shared evenings, but now we have a moment we can stand alone and share what our voices are. So I'm really excited and appreciative.
So, wow, that's awesome. And I love that you incorporated a visual artist into your work, because it's just lovely when you can collaborate with all genres of the arts and kind of like shine a light on everybody, even though you're the main focus of conversation, right? Because it's your language that everyone's going to be hearing, and they're part of that discussion. And so that's lovely. That's absolutely lovely. So what is your conversation?
So the piece is speaking about creative practice as healing practice, how we go through challenges, trauma, and issues, both good and bad, and how we navigate those challenges, and how we are able to go through them, move through, and let go, and find new ways to discover a little bit more about ourselves and our community.
And this is all done through movement. And so it's interesting, right? We had the musician on earlier who said he chose the oh my gosh, I can't even believe I'm going blank.
Trumpet?
Yeah, it was trumpet. He chose the trumpet as his means of communicating, and so you've chosen movement as your means of communicating. And so if we could just share before we go, why movement as your means of language?
I shared similar sentiments where when I couldn't find the words to express myself, I knew movement was that language that was speaking when I could not. And now it's kind of been that language where I can push forward and share stories and share my story in a bigger way, in a more evolved way. So that's why movement is so important for me.
And we are so excited because we're going to get to experience a little taste here on our set. Thank you for being here with us, Candace. And you guys, we had to take a quick break, but when we return, Candace is going to perform for us. You don't want to miss. Don't go anywhere.
Behold the angry giant. Behold the angry giant. Behold the angry giant. Behold the angry giant. It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
Patriotism. It inspires passionate debate, and it's worn like a badge of honor with good reason, because it means love and devotion for one's country. But what really makes up this country of ours? It's the people. To love America is to love all Americans. This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Love beyond age, sexuality, disability, race, religion, and other labels. Because love has no labels.
Well, Thomas, you've got pre-diabetes. But with more exercise and a change in diet, it can be reversed.
I've tried exercising. It just makes me hungry for bacon.
I love bacon, too. And who really likes to exercise?
Not me.
Me neither.
Nobody. So we're good?
What? Oh, you still have pre-diabetes. Big time.
And I can't change, even if I try, even if I wanted to. My love, she keeps me warm. 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 She keeps me warm.
We are neighbors and best friends.
I love my sister.
My heart doesn't see race. Love is love.
Our family is no less than any other family.
Here now to perform an excerpt from Coming Toward, a piece featured in PEPATIÁN's upcoming Dance Your Future Artist and Collaborative Residency project. Please welcome Candace Tabbs. Oh, thank you. I know you don't have a microphone, but I just want to thank you for just sharing that refreshing experience of just cleansing. That's what I got from it.
Thank you.
And coming towards, I mean, yes, I think we should all come towards the sound of water and chimes. Thank you. Awesome. Congratulations, my dear. Once again, you guys, PEPATIÁN's Dance Your Future Artist and Collaborative Residency Project is taking place on November 8th and 9th, starting at 8 p.m. at BAAD, which is the Bronx Academy of Arts and Dance, which is located at 2474 Westchester Ave. And for tickets to see Miss Candace Tabbs, be sure to visit PEPATIÁN.org or go to BAAD with 2 A's.org. That is our show today, mi gente. Thanks to all of our guests for coming through, and to you, our viewers, for tuning in. If you missed any part of the show, you can check out the recablecast tonight and 24 hours a day at BronxNet.tv. I'm Rhina Valentin, and from all of us here at Open, may the universe provide paz, prosperity, y amor. Y bueno, mi gente, feliz Día de Muertos.